Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I want to talk today about something I see in my exam room almost every single day. And honestly, it kind of breaks my heart. The patients I worry about the most aren't the 70 or 80-year-olds whose bodies are just naturally slowing down with age. That's just part of life. What really scares me, the 28-year-old, the 32-year-old, the one who walks in wearing a sharp suit or a polished skirt, looking like they just stepped out of a magazine cover, but the moment I look at their face, I can just tell they look drained, lifeless, like they're running on fumes just a few days ago. A young guy came in, 32 years old, big title at a big company. Great salary. His wife actually had to drag him into my office. He sat down, looked at me, and said, "Doc, I don't really have a disease. I am just so exhausted all the time." Had already done the full workup, heart ultrasound, MRI, every blood test you can think of. Every single one came back normal. His other doctor told him, "It's just stress. Go home and rest." I looked at him. I didn't say a word. I just asked him to hold out his hand. I took his pulse, and let me tell you, it felt like a water hose that was only half full. Then I asked him to stick out his tongue. It was pale like a piece of copy paper, and along the edges I could see clear teeth marks. Then I asked him three questions. I said, "When your alarm goes off in the morning, do you feel like your body is made of lead, like your soul is still in bed and you're just dragging a corpse to the bathroom?" His eyes went wide. He said, "Yes, how did you know that?" "Doc," then I asked, "do you hit a wall around 2 or 3 in the afternoon? Your brain just freezes, you stare at your computer screen, and when someone talks to you, it takes a full second for you to even process what they said." He nodded like crazy. And my third question, "At night, you're absolutely exhausted, but your brain won't shut off. You're tossing and turning like a piece of fish on a grill." His wife started nodding from the corner and said, "Doctor, that's him exactly. And he's so irritable too, snapping at everyone over nothing." And I looked at him and said, "My friend, this isn't nothing. This is burnout. Your body is like a sports car, beautiful on the outside, held together by your age. But your tank, that's where your blood and vital energy live, and it's nearly empty. If you keep driving like this, that engine is going to give out, and soon." Now, let me tell you, this guy is not a one-off case. I see this in so many young people today. Honestly, 9 out of 10 folks in their 20s and 30s are walking around in this exact same state. There's an old saying in traditional medicine for women, blood is the foundation for men, chi, or vital energy, comes first. Now, a lot of people, and even some not so thorough practitioners, read that and think, okay, women need to build blood. Men just need to build energy, but that's a huge, huge misunderstanding. Let me be crystal clear, whether you're a man or a woman. Blood and energy are the very roots of your health. Let's use a simple analogy. Your car needs gas to run, right? That gas is your blood, and the power that makes that engine go, the combustion, the motion, that's your chi, your energy. Now, if your gas tank is empty and you just keep stomping on the accelerator, what's going to happen? You're not going anywhere. You're just going to burn out the engine. So many of us today, we work late, we skip meals, we run on coffee and adrenaline, and we think we're being tough, we're being heroes. But look at the women around you. Aren't so many of them suffering through painful periods, feeling like they're fighting a war every single month? And after their period, they feel completely drained, pale, irritable, cold hands and feet, trouble sleeping, and they're only 28, 32, 35, but they feel like they're living in a 60-year-old's body. That is the classic sign. When blood is weak, the body weakens. When chi is depleted, the spirit fades. And here's the thing. Western medicine might not catch this. Why? Because Western medicine looks at structure, it looks at your organs. If your heart is still beating, your liver isn't full of tumors, and your lab numbers fall within that normal range on the printout, they say you're fine. But traditional medicine looks at function and energy. It looks at the quality of your fuel, and when your tank is empty, that is a real serious problem. Now, you might think you can pop a multivitamin or chug an energy drink and fix it. I'm telling you right now, no, that's not filling the tank. That's just burning the last few precious drops of your reserve. It's like throwing a match on an empty gas can. So is there a way to actually fill that tank back up? Absolutely. And the good news is our ancestors figured this out centuries ago. It's not complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive. The answer is a classic formula that's been used for over 1,000 years in traditional medicine. It's often called the #1 blood building formula of all time. And if you ask me, what is the single best prescription for this? I'll give you 3 words: the Four Substance Decoction. Now, don't let the simplicity fool you. It's only 4 herbs, just 4 ingredients. You can walk into any traditional pharmacy and find them on the shelf. But the power of this combination has been tested and trusted for over 1,000 years. It's a real lifeline, a way to pull people back from that deep, dark place of depletion. It's one of those gifts from our ancestors that we really should not ignore. But I know exactly what some of you are thinking, especially the guys out there. The moment I say Four Substance Decoction, I can see you starting to shake your heads. Why? Because in popular culture, this has been branded as a women's tonic. People think it's only for menstrual cramps or for women who look pale and tired. A lot of men think, if I drink that, am I going to grow breasts? Or is that going to make me less of a man? Let me tell you, that is absolutely 100% wrong. And honestly, this myth has caused so many people, especially men, to miss out on something that could genuinely change their health for the better. So let me set the record straight. Men can drink this. And in today's world, I'd argue that men might need it even more than women. Think about it. What is the average guy dealing with these days? Work pressure, family responsibilities, mortgage payments, the constant grind for career advancement. It's like being stuck in a juice press, just spinning and squeezing every drop out of you. Add to that late nights, fast food, too much alcohol, coffee by the gallon, and you think that's just hustle. You think that's just part of being successful. I'm telling you, that's not success. That's burning through your reserves at an alarming rate. Don't believe me? Go look in the mirror. Or look at your male coworkers. Do you see that glazed over look in their eyes like dead fish? Do you see them losing their hair in their early 30s with hairlines creeping further and further back? Do you see them snapping at people over the smallest things, losing their temper, unable to control it? And the most classic sign of all, lying in bed at night, completely exhausted, but unable to fall asleep, just tossing and turning like a fish on a hot pan. In traditional medicine, we call that a sign of liver blood deficiency. The liver is the organ that stores blood, and when you're constantly pushing, staying up late, getting angry, and overthinking, you are draining that liver reserve. And when your liver is depleted, your mind can't settle, you can't sleep, and your temper goes through the roof. You might think you need a sleeping pill or a liver cleanse supplement, but I'm telling you, that's like putting a bandage on a leaky pipe. The real problem is you need to fill your blood back up. So this four substance formula is absolutely not just for women's health. It nourishes the liver, builds blood, calms the mind, and restores your vitality. It can help fill that dry, empty tank back up, giving you back your energy, your focus, and your emotional balance. So I want you to take that outdated, incorrect idea that men shouldn't drink this and throw it right in the trash. Goodbye. Now, let's get into what's actually in this formula. You go to a traditional pharmacy, you look at the prescription, just four ingredients, and a lot of people look at me and say, Doc, that's it, just four roots and barks. How can four little pieces of plant fix my long-term deep-seated exhaustion? I hear that all the time, and honestly, that's exactly why I say sometimes we don't appreciate the treasures we already have in our own backyard. We think more is better. But that's not how traditional medicine works. The beauty of this formula isn't in complexity, it's in precision, in how these four ingredients work together as a team. It's like a highly trained special forces unit. You have the one holding the base, the one handling logistics, the one charging forward, and the one applying the brakes. Let me introduce each one to you, because once you see how they work together, you'll understand why this formula has survived for 1,000 years. First, we have prepared Romania root, or Shudi Huang in Chinese. Take a look at it. It's dark, blackish, dense, and a little sticky in traditional medicine. Black goes to the kidneys, and this herb is all about deeply nourishing your foundation. Remember, your blood and energy are like the gas in your car. This herb is the crude oil, the heavy, dense, real stuff that forms the base of your fuel. If you've been running on empty for years, this is what slowly, steadily, patiently fills your tank back up. It's steady, it's solid, and without it, the rest of the formula has no roots. You can't build a house without a foundation, and you can't build blood without this herb. Now, you've got the gas, but someone has to distribute it to where it's needed. That's where Angelica sinensis, or dangui, comes in. This is often called the women's herb, but I want to say, again, it's just as important for men. Think of it as your logistics officer. It takes that crude oil and transforms it into usable fuel, and then it sends it to every part of your body that needs it. What's truly amazing about this herb is its instinct. It seems to know exactly where you're deficient. Wherever your blood is lacking, it goes there. Wherever there's stagnation, it gently helps clear it out. It's like a loving mom calling her kids home for dinner. It brings scattered, wandering energy back to where it belongs. Okay, so now you've got gas in the tank and you've got a distribution system, but if that blood just sits there and doesn't move, it becomes stagnant like a pond that doesn't flow. That's where Chuanchong or Chuanchong comes in. This is your accelerator, your gas pedal. It's the herb that gets your blood moving. Many people deal with headaches, or that tingly, prickly feeling in their limbs, that's often because your blood isn't flowing well. Western medicine might give you a painkiller which just numbs the signal, but this herb works differently. It helps your blood actually flow, flushing out those little blockages and getting the circulation going. Again, when blood moves, problems start to resolve. Now, you have a full tank and a fast moving engine, you need brakes, right? Otherwise, you're going to crash. That's where white peony root or baishao comes in. This is the peacekeeper. It's astringent, it's calming, and it's exactly what you need for that modern day irritability and anxiety. When you're feeling hot, angry, your face is flushed, you want to throw something across the room, that's often because your liver energy is running wild. This herb is like a fire extinguisher. It gently pulls you back from that emotional edge, calming your nervous system and helping you feel more grounded and centered. So there you have it. Shu Dai fills the tank, Dangui manages the flow, Chuan Shang steps on the gas, and Bai Shao applies the brakes. Together, they create a beautifully balanced system that doesn't just throw nutrients at you, it actually rebuilds your body's energy cycle. It's not like taking an iron supplement, it's more like replumbing your whole house so the water flows correctly. This is the physics of traditional medicine. This is the wisdom of our ancestors. Just four herbs working together can restore the balance of your whole system. Now, I know some of you are still thinking, Doc, I'm not that bad. I'm just a little tired here and there. Oh, really? Let's hold up a mirror, a truth-telling mirror, and take a good, hard look. Because I want you to check yourself against some very specific signs of depletion. And if you have even two of these, I want you to admit that your tank is way emptier than you think. Sign number one, look at your face in the mirror. Is it pale or does it have a dull yellowish tint? A healthy face should have a rosy, vibrant glow like a crisp, fresh apple. If you look like you've been living in a basement for a month, that's not just your natural skin tone. That means your blood isn't reaching your face. In traditional medicine, we say the heart's health shows on the face. If your heart doesn't have enough blood, your face is going to look like you haven't had a good meal in weeks. Number two, check your lower eyelid, your lips, and your fingernails. Gently pull down your lower eyelid. What color is it? Is it pale like a piece of paper? Are your lips pale like you're not wearing any lipstick? Or maybe even a little purple. Now hold out your hands and look at your nail beds. Press down on a fingernail for a second, then release. Does the pink color come back immediately? If your nails are pale, soft, brittle, or have vertical ridges, and your half moons are missing, that is hard evidence of blood deficiency. Number three, are you unusually cold? This is the one that tricks a lot of people. They think, oh, I'm just naturally a cold person, but let me be blunt. That's often your blood deficiency talking. Do you shiver in air conditioning while everyone else is comfortable? Do you feel like the cold air is cutting right into your bones? Are your hands and feet cold all the time, even when you're inside? Here's the physiology. Blood is the carrier of warmth. If you don't have enough blood, that warmth can't reach your fingertips and your toes. It's like your home's heating system. If there's no water in the pipes, you're not going to get any heat. This isn't just your body type. This is your heating system running on empty. Number four, do you get numbness or a heavy, leaden feeling in your limbs? Maybe you sit for a while and when you stand up, your legs feel weak, or you wake up in the middle of the night with your arm completely asleep, or you get that tingling, prickly sensation, or your muscles feel sore and heavy. That means your blood isn't nourishing your tendons and nerves. Think of a tree branch that's dried out. It's brittle, it breaks easily. Your body is telling you it needs that internal moisture and nourishment. Number five, palpitations, insomnia, and vivid, exhausting dreams. This is a huge one for modern people. Your heart needs blood to rest. If you're lying in bed at night, exhausted, but your mind is racing like a party you didn't invite anyone to, or you finally fall asleep, but wake up feeling like you just ran a marathon because your dreams were so intense, that's a classic sign that your mind isn't being nourished properly. The heart houses the mind, and if it doesn't have enough blood, you just can't settle down. Number six, brain fog and forgetfulness. Do you walk into a room and forget why you went there? Do you forget where you put your phone 5 minutes ago? Are you in a meeting staring at the screen and your mind is just blank, no ideas, no focus? Don't blame yourself and call yourself stupid. That's not a character flaw. That's your brain not getting enough blood to function. Well, your brain is one of the most energy-hungry organs in your body. When it's starved of blood, everything slows down. Number seven, and this one's for the ladies, light, scanty, or delayed periods. In traditional medicine, the menstrual cycle is seen as a reflection of your body's surplus. If your warehouse doesn't have enough inventory, there's nothing left to export. So if your flow is getting lighter, the color is getting paler, your cycles are getting longer, or you're skipping periods entirely, that's a clear signal of blood deficiency. Some women also get headaches right before or during their period because the blood is going down, leaving even less for your head. And if you're still not sure, there's one more test. Stick out your tongue. Traditional tongue diagnosis is incredibly reliable. Look in the mirror. If your tongue is pale with very little color, that's mild deficiency. If your tongue is thin and small, or if you see teeth marks indented all along the edges, that's more significant because it means your digestive system is also weak and can't produce enough blood. And if your tongue is bright red, like a dragon fruit, with little to no coating, and especially if the tip is very red, that means you're not just deficient, you've actually developed internal heat from that deficiency. That's the stage where you're most likely to have severe insomnia, irritability, and restlessness. So if you're checking off even two of these signs, especially if you have that pale complexion, cold hands and feet, and teeth marks on your tongue, please don't just tough it out. Your body is asking for help. Now, look around you. Young people these days, they're glued to their phones, eating fast food on the go, drinking ice drinks all year round, staying up late, waking up late. A 28-year-old woman complains her period is always late and painful. A 32-year-old guy feels dizzy on the subway and his face turns white. A 35-year-old man has palpitations and blurry vision during a meeting, and his doctor says it's just stress. Every single one of these, that's blood deficiency. It's not just stress. That's your body screaming for help. At this point, some of you are probably saying, okay, doc, I get it. I'm depleted. So I'm going to go out and drink this four substance formula right away. Whoa, hold on. Slow down. I'm not afraid of you not taking this formula. I'm afraid of you taking it wrong because as good as this formula is, it is not a glass of water. There are 5 specific situations where drinking this would be like drinking poison, not because the formula is bad, but because your body isn't in the right state to receive it. And that's more important than how to take it. These are life-saving red lines. So listen up. I know you're excited. I know you're ready to run to the pharmacy. But if you are currently on your period, or you have a sore throat or a fever or you're having diarrhea, do not take this. Do you want to make yourself sicker? I'm telling you, even ginseng or bird's nest, if taken at the wrong time or for the wrong body type, is not a tonic. It's a poison. So here are the 5 categories of people who absolutely should not take this standard version without modification. Category 1, women who are currently on their period. I cannot say this clearly enough. Do not take this during your period. I know some of you are thinking, I thought I need to replenish during my period because I'm losing blood. That is absolutely wrong. This formula contains herbs that move and activate blood. If you take it while you're actively bleeding, it's like opening the floodgates when a storm is already raging. You will make your flow heavier, longer, and you could even cause flooding. Some women take it on day 1 of their period, and then they bleed more, cramp more. And they tell themselves, oh, it's a detox. No, it's not a detox. It's you pouring your own blood out. You have to wait. Please wait until your period has completely ended and you have 3 to 5 days of being clean. That's the time when your body is ready to build new blood. That's when this formula will be truly helpful. Category 2, anyone with an active infection. Cold, flu, fever, inflammation. This applies to men, women, children, everyone. If you have a sore throat, red swollen eyes, a fever, a wound that's inflamed or infected, do not take this. In traditional medicine, we talk about closing the door on the thief. When you have a cold, your immune system is trying to push the virus out. This formula is warming and nourishing, which is great for building your body. But if you take it during an active infection, you're basically offering a big warm meal to the virus and making it stronger. Wait until you've cleared the infection. Get the fever down. Let your body get clean and settled, and only then start thinking about replenishment. Category 3, people with weak digestion, especially if you get bloating, diarrhea, or stomach pain easily. There are a lot of people like this. You drink a glass of cold water and your stomach cramps. You eat something greasy and you're running to the bathroom. If you give this formula to someone with that kind of digestion, they are going to be back and forth between the bed and the bathroom all night. Why? Because the main herb, prepared Romania root, is dense, rich, and sticky, very hard to digest. And the other herbs can also have a mild laxative effect together. They can be a real challenge for a weak digestive system. Your digestive system is the engine that produces blood in the first place. If it's broken, no amount of supplementation is going to help. It's like pouring water through a cracked pipe. So if this is you, you should not start with this formula directly. You should first work on strengthening your digestion. maybe with a different herbal formula that's designed for gut health. Do that for 2 or 3 weeks. Then you can gradually introduce a modified, gentler version of this blood building formula. Category 4, women in menopause or anyone with a generally hot constitution, people who have hot flashes, night sweats, and flushing easily. Menopause isn't just aging in traditional medicine, it's often a state where kidney energy is depleted and internal heat rises. If you're already feeling hot, flushed, sweaty, and irritable, and you take this warming formula, it's like pouring oil onto a fire that's already burning out of control. I've seen so many women in menopause who were just a little restless at night. Then they heard about this formula on a podcast, started drinking it daily, and got progressively hotter, drier, more anxious, and their blood pressure actually went up. If this sounds like you don't want this standard version. You need a modified cooling approach first to calm that fire, and only later after the heat is down can you start gently replenishing with cooler, more yin-nourishing herbs. Category 5, people with a naturally hot constitution, you break out in red, angry pimples. You have a red tongue with no coating, you get canker sores often, you're always feeling warm, and you get angry easily. If you take warming herbs like angelica and chuanchong, you're going to make everything worse. You may end up in the ER with chest tightness, heartburn, or severe palpitations. So, if this is you cannot just take the standard formula. You need a customized version that swaps out the warming herbs for cooler ones and adds herbs that clear heat. The principle is always the same. You must treat your pattern. You can't just take a tonic because someone said it's good now. I don't want to scare you away. I want to empower you. The real meaning of replenishment is not just pouring something in, it's about your body being able to receive it, absorb it, and use it. That's true replenishment. Once you understand these red lines and you avoid these pitfalls, then this formula can work from the ground up precisely, effectively, and comfortably. All right, after all those rules, I know some of you are getting a little nervous. Doc, I'm scared to even try this now. Don't worry. As long as you don't fall into those 5 categories, this formula is actually very friendly and, dare I say, delicious. I know. The moment people hear herbal medicine, they scrunch up their faces. Doc, I know it's good, but I can't drink that bitter, black, muddy water. And I tell you, who says good medicine has to taste bad? That's nonsense. The genius of this formula is that although it's only 4 herbs, it's incredibly versatile. It can be a remedy, or it can be a meal. In the kitchen, it becomes a delicious broth. In the pharmacy, it becomes a potent tonic. Today, I'm not going to teach you how to read a complex ancient text. I am going to teach you how to cook. Here are 3 simple, practical ways to take this formula so that you, your husband, your kids, and even your skeptical brother-in-law will ask for seconds. Method number 1, the classic replenishing soup. This is the most basic, standard, and potent version. If you want to build blood quickly and effectively, this is it. The recipe, 10 grams of each of the 4 herbs, prepared Romania, Angelica. Chuanchong and white peony, that's a 1:1:1:1 ratio. Nice and balanced. Here's how to prepare it. Rinse the herbs, then soak them in cold water for 30 minutes. This step is crucial. It opens up the fibers of the herbs so the active ingredients can come out. Then bring it to a boil and simmer for about 40 minutes. Drink it twice a day, morning and evening. Now, if you're still thinking, Doc, that still has a little bit of an herbal taste, no problem. I have a little trick for you. Add a few red dates for a touch of natural sweetness, and a couple of slices of fresh ginger to warm the stomach. That way you get a warm, sweet, comforting tea that feels like a gentle hug from the inside out. Method number 2, the beauty sweet soup. This one is especially for the ladies who want to get their glow back but hate bitter flavors. This is not medicine. This is a dessert that heals. Take the same 4 herbs, brew them as before, strain the liquid, and then add a whole egg. You can either poach it directly in the broth or soft boil an egg, peel it, and drop it in. And here's the key. Add a spoonful of brown sugar. Why brown sugar? Because it's warming, it nourishes, and it gently moves blood. This is a sweet, satisfying soup that you can enjoy every night for the week after your period ends. It warms your womb, builds your blood, and melts away the day's exhaustion. And over time, you'll notice your complexion becoming brighter with that healthy pink glow that comes from within. Method number 3, the medicinal pork rib soup. This is my absolute favorite for the guys, especially the ones who refuse to admit they're tired and roll their eyes at the idea of taking herbs. You know, the type You hand him a dark bowl of herbal tea, and he says, I'm not sick, I'm not drinking that, but you turn it into a stew. Now we're talking, here's what you do. Take your four herbs, put them in a little spice bag or tea filter, and toss it into a pot with fresh pork ribs or a couple of chicken thighs, add some red dates, a handful of goji berries, and enough water to cover everything. Let it simmer on low heat for about 2 hours until the meat is so tender it falls off the bone. When you lift the lid, the aroma is incredible, savory, rich, and hearty, with none of that strong, unpleasant medicinal smell. When he asks, "What's this?" you just say, "Oh, it's a nourishing bone broth good for your energy." I promise you, he'll eat every bite, drink every drop, and then ask you to make it again tomorrow. See, this formula is not some untouchable, mysterious potion. It can be part of your everyday life. It's a kitchen remedy. If you know how to cook, you can learn how to build your blood. The flexibility is incredible. So we've covered the recipe, we've covered the cooking methods, and we've covered the warnings. Now, I want to take a moment to speak from the heart. This is not just about treating a disease. This is about how, in this busy, relentless world, you protect your vitality, your energy, and the health of your whole family after all these years in practice. What worries me most isn't that a disease is too hard to treat. What worries me is that patients don't listen or they only hear half of what I say. That's why I always say treating the illness is easier than treating the mindset. That's why even if I sound like a worried old aunt, I'm going to recap today's most important points one more time. Please pull out your phone or a piece of paper and jot these down. First, remember the four warriors. Prepared Romania is your foundation. It fills your kidney reserves. Angelica is your logistics officer. It brings blood back. Chuancheng is your accelerator. It gets blood moving. And White Peony is your brake. It calms your system and puts out the fire. You cannot skip any of them. Balance is the name of the game. Second, never ever step on these 5 landmines. Don't take it during your period. That's flood season, not replenishment season. Wait until it's fully ended and you have 3 clean days. Don't take it when you have a cold, flu, fever, or infection. That's feeding the enemy. If you have weak digestion that gets bloated or diarrheal easily, fix your gut first or modify the formula with a gentler version. If you are menopausal with hot flashes and sweating, cool the fire before you add fuel. If you are naturally hot with a red tongue, no coating. And angry breakouts, you must add cooling herbs. Don't just take the standard warming version. Third, make it taste good. Don't tell me it's bitter, ladies. Try the sweet soup with brown sugar, guys. Have the savory rib stew. It nourishes you and you don't lose face. All it takes is a little creativity. And good medicine can truly taste good. Start with small changes. Start in your kitchen, and your body will thank you slowly but surely. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you've tried any of these recipes or you have questions about your own situation, drop a comment below. I read as many as I can. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.